York's very own muscle building coaches, Anthony Bevilacqua and Pete Kacharian, proudly present to you New York Muscle Radio.
What's up, guys? New York Muscle Radio, episode number 161, Building an Old School Mr. America Physique with Bill Grant. If you're a new listener, welcome to the best muscle building, fat burning, fitness network on the planet. And a gift for you guys, if you're a new listener, head on over to newyorkmuscleradio.com/getjacked, JAKKED. You'll sign up and you'll get your free 12-week training program. That's our gift to you for coming over to this podcast and being a new listener. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a 5-star review as always. But it's your host, Anthony Bevilacqua, alongside my co-host, Big Pete Kacharian. What's up, big guy? How you doing, man? I'm super excited for this one today. Bill Grant. Can you believe it? We snagged the guy from the 70s.
Yeah, this is an exciting podcast because, at least especially for me and you, because we're such big fans of, the golden era of bodybuilding. And it's something that there's really not too much content on, at least new content, like you have pumping iron and you have all the stuff that was around back then in the golden era, but nothing really new and current. So I'm excited to get some new content that talks about the best era of bodybuilding.
Yeah, some new old content.
Yeah, well, it's always new if it's a new story, right?
Yeah, that's the truth. But yeah, Bill Grant was around. He trained with Arnold, so super excited. Can't wait to hear all these stories. And this podcast's a little long, guys. We recorded with him, and it's definitely a little long, but it's well worth listening to. This guy is full of stories, full of knowledge, and so different back then,
Yeah, and Bill's got some great stories, and he's a very good storyteller. So listening to this, you get like a full picture. You could see what he's telling you the story about. So it's exciting for anybody who's a fan of that era of bodybuilding. It's definitely a must listen to.
Yeah, and you could tell how passionate he is about it. It's great, man. I love seeing that, and honestly, listening to his stories and stuff. I'm probably gonna sound arrogant saying this, but I kind of think I could have ran circles around these guys.
Yeah, that is a little arrogant. But no. The funny thing is, I think that the reason a lot of these guys, or at least I guess maybe the reason me and you look up to them, is they had such a big work ethic as far as training and nutrition and just living the bodybuilding lifestyle. A lot of people today, they don't have that same mentality. I mean, even the best in the sport today, their mentality is not the same as it was back then as far as training, nutrition, and living the lifestyle. A lot of times today, people rely on different things. They don't love it the same way, I guess you could say. You don't have the same passion for it. So I think there's very few guys today that can kind of relate to those guys back then. And it's listening to him, he still has the same passion for it. And that's a certain breed, and there's not many people like that, which is definitely why I think that era was so special.
So you called me arrogant, but you didn't agree with me. So does that mean you agree with me or you disagree with me?
I think on squats, you could pretty much run circles around everybody, to be honest with you. I've yet to see you and anybody else, goes toe-to-toe in the squat and you couldn't run circles around them. So I guess I would have to agree with that. Until I see it, that's what I'm going to say.
Well, we're probably not going to see it because most of these guys are in their 70s now. But I think I would have fit in well in that era because I love the sport. I think it would have been – I was born too late, man.
Yeah, myself included, man. That's for sure.
Yeah, because those guys had it made back then. I mean, he tells stories about living up by the beach, and I don't know. I definitely would have been one of those guys I would have been like Lou, traveling from New York and moving to California.
Yeah, like everybody else, they're training in California. I'm in a dungeon. You know, remember from Pumping Iron? I'm in a dungeon. Yeah. He's like, there's nobody here that works out. The only way I could motivate myself was to keep screaming, Arnold, Arnold.
There's one scene where I hand my father 100-pound dumbbells. Lou.
He says, what a workout.
We should try to get him on the podcast, man. We'd have to pay him, though.
Yeah, of course. I think he'd charge a lot more than $20 for a podcast. $20 for a photo.
Jesus. Good old Lou Ferrigno, the Hulk. I gotta reach out to him. I'll see what I can do. I'll work my magic. My New York Muscle Radio charm.
Yeah, but, anybody, like I said, anybody who likes that era should definitely listen to this. And I think, again, just even forget the era for a second. Just the mentality he has is, one that I think is missing in the sport. I know I keep saying that, but it's so true when you just hear him speak. And, you could relate listening to him. he's the same mentality that me and you do when it just comes to training and just loving what you're doing and putting in the work and getting the results. Nobody has that mentality. So it's funny when we start kind of dissecting his mentality and the mentality the guys had back then as far as why they were successful. And it's not like they had the perfect workout routine or the perfect diet or any of that stuff. They actually had all suboptimal things of that nature, but it was just that mentality that just bred results, and I think that's what most people are lacking today. They want that perfect nutrition plan, that perfect training program, and even if they get it, they still lack those results because the mentality is just not there and that mindset and that passion's not there.
Yeah, guys, and remember, you can always head over to NewYorkMuscleRadio.com/getjacked, JAKKED, and you'll get our free 12-week program if you're not sure what to do. We do this podcast to teach people things, and obviously this is our gift to you for being loyal listeners, so make sure you head on over and pick that up. But, yeah, man, I'm just super excited for this episode, and I'm excited for everyone to hear it. Just super excited that we were lucky enough to get someone from that era in because, like we said, we're both fanboys of that era. Like this fanboys now of the industry, the men's physique guys nowadays, we're definitely fanboys of the 70s. But I think that was the best time in bodybuilding, and I don't know. That's my personal opinion. Yeah. So do you want to just roll right into this, or do you have anything you want to say to everybody?
I think it was pretty much all said already. I hope everybody enjoys this one because it's it's definitely a different podcast from what we usually put out, but there's some valuable information in there, and I definitely think that if you're a fan, listen to it. Even if you're not a fan of that era and you're more into the modern sport that we have going on right now, you can learn a ton just from, like I said, the mentality that he has and what he talks about the guys did back then. So definitely you're going to get a lot out of this one.
Yep. All right, man, let's just go right to it. So, all right, guys, we'll be right back, and we'll be right back with Bill Grant.
Do you want to get the results you've always dreamed of? Do you want coaches that genuinely care, are professional, and get back to you in a timely manner? Do you want to be stronger, healthier, and look better naked? Then let me tell you, New York Muscle Radio is definitely your answer. Since working with them, I can hardly believe the results.
They coached me through a post-contest reverse diet and all the way through to an off-season strength program.
These two fitness geniuses have pushed me outside of my comfort zone, and in the process, I have been able to make big jumps on all of my major lifts.
In 14 weeks, I added 100 pounds to my powerlifting total and smashed my first meet.
Since working with them, I've added 55 pounds to my squat, 50 pounds to my deadlift, and 20 pounds to my bench press.
And in 12 weeks, I dropped over 10 pounds of body fat and added over 20 pounds to all my lifts.
I have never had as amazing of glutes as I have training with them. So I can say, no matter what your goals are, you're guaranteed to be stronger, healthier, and let's face it, better looking if Pete and Anthony are your coaches.
So if you are tuning in to listen and learn from the huge array of knowledge these two have, or if you want to hire them as your coaches, you will not be disappointed.
New York Muscle Radio is the best in the business.
You heard it from our New York Muscle Radio clients. Do you want to join our team and reach your fitness goals? Visit NewYorkMuscleRadio.com for all our coaching programs.
But I'll tell you what, when I'm done, my biceps are humongous. Humongous. Like that, bang!
My name is Anthony Bevilacqua, and I'm the host of New York Muscle Radio Podcast. My arms have been a weak point for years. When I started training, my arms measured 11 inches. Even after many years of hardcore training, nothing would get them to grow. With the help of my co-host, Big E, we set out on a mission to gain 1 solid inch to my arms in 12 weeks.
In the greatest experiment of all.
12 weeks later, this program finally helped me get 18-inch arms. The 12-week arm experiment, the ultimate arm growth program, ebook, the audio book, and the workout video. Pick up your copy now on NewYorkMuscleRadio.com.
Hey, great coffee.
Doesn't it taste good as Fresh Perk?
Better.
Better than those girls make at the office?
Honey, their coffee can't hold a candle to yours.
Caffeine, the world's only instant coffee that's fortified with muscle-building protein. Visit buyproteincoffee.com now.
Damn.
Nice, Pete.
What?
I saw you checking out that girl's butt.
What? I was just checking out her yoga pants.
Pete.
I was thinking you'd look really good in yoga pants.
Uh-huh.
I was like trying to check out what brand it was. Like I was looking at her form on deadlifts. They were all messed up.
Do you think she has a nicer butt than me?
Well, it definitely doesn't look like a pancake.
Did you just call my butt a pancake?
Well, I mean...
What can I do?
You gotta try New York Muscle Radio's Glutylicious program.
Glutylicious?
Yeah, you'll finally get a celebrity booty, like all the other girls following the program.
Fine, I'll do it. But don't get jealous when other guys check out my glutylicious ass.
Glutylicious, your guide to getting a celebrity booty in 12 weeks. Now available exclusively at NewYorkMuscleRadio.com.
What's up, New York Muscle Radio listeners? It's your co-host, Big Pete Kacharian, and I'm glad you're all listening. Put down that tilapia and asparagus. Learn how to get bigger, stronger, and leaner eating what you want. Pick up a copy of Cracking the Flexible Dieting Code exclusively at NewYorkMuscleRadio.com. But for now, let's get to the show.
All right, guys, we're back. Today we have a really special treat for you. We have a special guest today who is nicknamed the Man of Steel with over 50-plus years of fitness knowledge, Mr. World, Mr. America, Bill Grant. Bill Grant started his fitness career at age 9 and continues to train to this day. Bill, welcome to the New York Muscle Radio podcast. How are you doing, buddy?
Oh, great. Like to be here, man. Love to be here. This is good. This is my element, having interviews, talking about bodybuilding. That's what I know. That's exactly. My profession, man. I'm like a doctor, man. 57 years. I went to school, man. The bodybuilding school.
Bill was famous during that golden era of bodybuilding. So he trained with all those guys, Arnold and Franco, and I can't wait to hear all those funny stories. I'm sure there's thousands. But Bill, let's tell our listeners a little bit who may have not heard about you, a little bit more about yourself.
Well, let's kind of like talk about the beginning when I first started. You know, because I did start at 9 o'clock at 9 years old, but I was a little bit too young. My parents said, no, that's too much. Then I tried again at about 12. No, you're still too young. Then at 14, I really got it on. But now I read all the magazines, just like you guys did. I took all the magazines, man. Joe Weider's magazines were the best ones. And, Mr. America, the Muscle Builder. And, Joe Weider used to be in Union City, New Jersey. That's where his office was. Harold Poole used to work for him. Leroy Colbert worked there. Oh, it was great. And I can remember, I'll give you a little story. And I was 15. I looked at the magazines and I says, oh man, Union City, I want to go over and see Joe Weider. So I went over to Joe Weider's office, man. And I went in and the secretary was there and I says, I'm here to see Joe Weider. She says, well, he's busy right now, young man. I says, no. I need to see Joe Weider now. Just no, you. I said, I'm here to see Joe Weider. And so Joe heard all the commotion. So he came out the door. What's going on out there? Well, Mr. Weider, this kid just wants to talk to you. It's okay. Let him come into the office. So I came in. He says, how are you? What's your name? I said, I'm Bill Grant, man. I wanted to see you, man. I read all your magazines. I wanted to meet you, and I was in his office this time, and it was like, he says, so you like the magazines. You want to be a bodybuilder. Did you ever hear him?
You do a really good impression. Yeah.
He says, this is great, man. You're 15. Yeah, I said, yeah, Joe, I am. And it's so great to see the great Joe Weider, man. Oh, this is good, man. I'm really pumped up, man. He says, I want to be a bodybuilder. I want to be a winner, man. I want to win all those titles, man. He says, that's great, kid. You're a great kid. You want to train hard. Well, I'll give you a couple of magazines, and you can take them and you can look at them and see what's going on, and you can see how to train. They have my courses. I said, yeah. I bought those too. He says, all right, you just don't worry. You're gonna be a champion. So we talked a little, and I left, man. That was my first introduction to Joe Weider, man. It was like seeing God, man. You know what I'm saying?
And you just barged into his office.
Yeah, I just barged in, man. I just came in. He had a small little place, but that wasn't the last time I saw him. I came back again, as it was starting to get a little bit better. And Joe had a sign on the building, I can't year what that was. It was probably about 1968, around there. So he had it for sale, on the building. And I says, Joe, what's the for sale thing? Where you going? He said, I'm moving to California. That's the place to go. I said, come on, Joe, you ain't going to California, man. You're not selling this building. He said, yes, I am. You're going to have to come to California to see me now. I says, no, man. And it was true. He left. It broke my heart. I says, I just can't come see him now. So I need to go to California. I mean, that was everybody's dream. Arnold, Frank Zane, Dave Draper. We all wanted to be in California, man. That's where it was all at, the Beach Boys, and he went. And my first time I went to California was 1966. I duped my parents into letting me go to Los Angeles City College.
That's an easy way to get there.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't going for the college or the education. I was going for the college of bodybuilding.
Yeah, I know, but that's a good way to trick your parents.
So I went to California, 1966, man. I remember that time. I got on the flight, TWA, and some friends of mine, the father, had some relatives in the West Coast, and so he says, where you gonna live, man? I mean, I didn't have anything special to do. I had $500, man. My dad says, what are you going to do with $500? I'll do something. It'll be all right. So he got me hooked up with his cousin or his aunt or something that was out there. And they lived in Cheviot Hills and in Baldwin Hills. And they had a little money. They had a swimming pool, the whole 9 yards. So they took me in. But after a little while, the grandmother was starting to get a little antsy and jealous because they were paying a lot of attention to me. So she wanted me out of the place. So they found me another place of a friend of theirs on Crenshaw Boulevard, right on the Santa Monica Freeway. Her name was Dorothy. God rest her soul, man. She passed away, but she was like a surrogate mother for me, man. She had 3 other siblings, sisters, and she had 2 sons of her own. And she had a real big house, man. I mean, if you could see, and you go up Crenshaw Boulevard and some of these areas in Los Angeles, these houses were monstrous, man. 6-7 bedrooms, and they were big. And so she had another bedroom, quite a few. And I lived there, stayed there, and I went to school there and the whole 9 yards. And like I said I was going to go to school there. So as you can see already now, I really never went to school. I went to the beach all the time. My parents says, how's school doing? Oh, it's doing great, man. I'm learning a lot, man. I was going for physical education. Yeah, man, we're working good. And they take us out and we're exercising, and
what a great story.
But no, this it's still a little bit more. So basically, when I was there, because remember now I have 4 kids, and I have 9 grandkids. So this is how that played in. I met my wife there at 19 years old, man. my dad asked me, he says, what the hell are you doing, man? 19? You're not ready to get married? So we met on Sunset. She was an au pair. She was working up in the hills, and I was waiting for a friend of mine from Bob Pistol he was from the YMCA, and he was going to Los Angeles City College as well. And he was supposed to meet me on the Sunset Strip at Laurel Canyon. So I'm walking there, I'm waiting for him, but he never showed up. So there was this nice, beautiful lady standing there. So I'm racing around, and she asked me, she talked to me, she says, are you lost like I am? I says, what do you mean? I says, oh yeah, I'm just waiting for a friend of mine. He just didn't show up. I don't know what. So she says, well, I have to get back to the house where I work at. I says, well, maybe I can show you, help you get a taxi, something, so you can go home. So, but we talked about it, and we went across the street, and we sat down and some coffee and stuff, and ate a little. And we came back. We called a taxi, and the taxi came, gave her her money, and I gave her my phone, and she gave me hers. And that was it. And I didn't really think about much of it. So a couple of weeks went, I said, oh, maybe I'll call this girl. So that was the match in heaven, man. So that was it. And at the end, I'd gotten married and moved back to Jersey again. And again, I was a little thwarted because I didn't really do all the things of bodybuilding I wanted to do. I mean, it was a real journey, man. So I came back to Jersey again. And I didn't have much work when I was there, though, by the way. So I lost a lot of weight because I didn't have a lot of money to eat. And I told my parents I needed to come back home again. And I told them I got married, and so they freaked out. And it's like, wow, man. But all right, just come on home. And don't drive that dumpy old car you got. I had like a 50-something Plymouth, man. A little green car. So I got back home again. And the rest was history. I'll go past that. We had 3 kids, and I was still in Jersey, and I was competing and stuff, but I wasn't really getting where, and I really needed to, get to California, and I worked odd jobs and stuff like that. So, to take care of the family, but I really needed to go to California. But basically, let's put that on hold. I should really tell you the actual beginning of my training. People really would like to see that part. When I was
going to ask you.
Yeah, that was the time when I was able to go to the gym. I mean, other than that, I used to train in my basement and in the backyard of my friend across the street. I mean, we did whatever we had to do. Remember, we didn't have gyms. I mean, it was just YMCAs, and even I could hardly, pay that membership. But I went to the Orange YMCA. I'll never forget that place. And that was my beginnings. And as you knew, the gyms that weren't there, they weren't that good. So the YMCA gym wasn't that good. But they had 2x4s on the floor, little there, and you could see spaces. I mean, it was so bad, man. You could see the mice and the roaches running through the thing. They had plumbers, pipe man for the squat racks and the dipping bars. We even had a wooden leg press, man.
Oh wow, yeah, I know. I actually saw pictures of that. That's like the original leg press.
And it was truck gears that were the weights, and it was no such thing as air conditioning. See, I hate to tell you guys out there, but you're kind of spoiled with the air conditioning. We didn't know what air conditioning was like. I mean, it was in the basement, right near the locker room where the steam and the heat comes in. So now listen, on a hot day, say it's like 90 degrees, man, they had an exhaust fan, say on the right, if I'm saying at me, head, it was a exhaust fan right there. And on the left side, there was like a slit window, you pull it down. And if it was 90 degrees outside, it was about 95 degrees in the gym with 80% humidity. You did one set of squats and you were just drenched, man. I mean, wow. It was unbelievable. And I used to train for 6 hours, man.
In a row?
Yeah. It was like crazy, man. We were all nuts, man. We just loved it so much, man. I just couldn't get enough of it. I just couldn't get enough of working out, man. I mean, it was a real passion right at the beginning at 14. And I remember being on my first bodybuilding show, 15 years old, and it was 15, 16. It was the Mr. High School, New Jersey competition. And my mother, she was a nurse, and she really didn't like all this stuff. My father was a professional boxer. He was ranked 3rd in the light heavyweight division in the world.
Wow.
Yeah, back in the 1940s. He was real good. He liked that because I was exercising. I used to go to the boxing gym when he trained. So I told my mother, I says, I need money for some protein and stuff like that, man, and blah, blah, blah. And, but, she says, that protein crap, you're taking all that crap. She said, if they put shit in a can and told you to get muscles, you'd eat that, wouldn't you? I said, yeah, probably would, Mom. She hated it. So I went to the Mr. High School, New Jersey, and it was at the Newark YMCA. And I mean, now you see the stages today, what the guys are on, right? I mean, beautiful staging, right? We had like a little box, man, with a lampshade over top, man. You weren't allowed to have oil, nothing, man. And you had no music, and you only had 60 seconds to pose, man. I mean, it was brutal, man. If anybody was back in the day, who's going to see this, they understand what I'm saying. The guys, you guys probably didn't see that, man, but it was in the gym underneath the basketball, the rim. That's where the platform was at.
Wow.
And by the way, I was fifth, and I was pissed. I was really mad. I was crying. I got home. I was crying, and Daddy, man, I need the prime. I need the protein, and Mommy won't give me. I need to get the protein. So I put them once again each other, man. And then he told her, just, why don't you have that boy give him that money for that protein? And then she got, we together, and she says, yeah, little bastard, you. Side head. Well, I need the protein, right? And you got to pay for the membership too. But it was only $25 a year for the Y, man. That was unbelievable. And that's really how I started. That was my beginnings. But I always have to give credit. And every time, any interview, I have to give credit for me really sticking with it and getting what I needed to do. Randy Coyle was the guy. He was the guy that, helped me when I first came to the Y. I remember. He looked at me. He says, I've been watching you for quite a while training here, and I don't see there's nothing going on, man. Because I wasn't growing, man. I was training 6 hours a day, man. And so he says, all right, kid. He was about 8-10 years older than me. And he said, okay, I'm going to show you how to do it. Most of the guys in the gym thought he was crazy. And they told me, don't deal with this guy. I says, cool. Whatever it is, I need to get there. So I'm going to trust him. And he gave me 4 exercises. Just 4, guys. Just 4 exercises. I says, well, what is that going to do? I'm not going to build any muscle. He says, you want to build up some muscle? Just shut up and just do the program. I did squats, dips, chins, and pullovers. This is the way I did it. I did 20 reps of squats, 20 reps of pullovers. Everything was three sets. And then I did dips and chins. And that was it. That was the workout. And I said, is this going to really work?
I'm sorry to cut you off, but were the dips and the chins 20 reps also, or was just whatever you could do?
Everything was 20 reps.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I was strong.
That's a lot.
Was strong. So I did dips, 20 reps, pull-ups, dips, and squats, 20 reps. And we would call them breathing squats, because every time I put when you go down, you go down, and then before you go up, you go shrug the traps. And that was a pretty good thing to do. And 20 reps and then the pullovers. And now remember, it's only 15. So now, your bone structure is still, can get bigger and strong. I had narrow shoulders, man. My shoulder girth wasn't big at all. Then we used to do what these called drop chins. I'd go up and then drop down. I says, what am I going to do? And rip my sheets. No, that's going to open up your shoulders and make them wider. And lo and behold, that shit worked. It worked. It all worked, man. I gained 25 pounds in about 4 months.
Oh, wow.
I was eating a lot of food, man. But that didn't go well with the family, man. They'd come home in the summer, and all the eggs were gone, milk was gone. Who's eating all this stuff? After a while,
Bill, I'm just curious, what was the diet like also? Because, I mean, obviously everything was so different way back then. So, what was the typical bodybuilding diet like back then?
That's a good question. It was milk, eggs, meat, fish, potatoes. That was it. Oatmeal. That's what we ate. Now, look at the guys today. Look how the diets are so different. How come we look that good? How do we look that good? Yeah. I mean, we didn't do all this crazy stuff. I mean, listen, I can't tell you I never took steroids. I did, though. But the fact of the matter is, we trained hard. We trained and we ate. There was no shortcuts. There was no shortcuts. It was no, I can't do any more reps. Shut up, man. Just do some more. Matter of fact, if it's squat and you can't get off, well, hell, sit there until you get up.
Yeah.
I mean, it was brutal, man. I mean, we trained our asses off. And remember, we didn't have any fancy machines. It was barbells and dumbbells. I think everybody's kind of getting away from that.
Yep. I'm so happy to hear you say this, man, because we talk about this all the time on the podcast. And me and my co-host, we actually tend to think that you guys back then in the 70s just looked so much better than all these guys do nowadays. And the other part about it was you guys were all so strong. These guys nowadays, they can't do anything. It's insane.
Yeah, that's it. We did power stuff. Matter of fact, when you wanted to compete in the Mr. America competition, you had to get what they had. Weightlifting points. I was doing weightlifting. I was pressing. Listen to this. I was pressing at about 185 pounds. I was pressing 250 pounds. I was snatching 220 pounds. A snatch right off the floor, right over my head. Yeah, we had to do that stuff. We trained hard. Yeah, these guys can't do that today, man. It was an all different thing. They don't understand. You got to use barbells and dumbbells. That's what it was all predicated on. In the beginning, right? Well, there was nothing there. It was just barbells and dumbbells, right?
Yeah.
If you had a lat pull down, it was a rope somewhere, and you pull it down. That was it. And you had the bar, the dips, and a bar there to do some chins, and like I said, a wooden leg press. I mean, we had very little equipment versus today. They have so many different machines. Why? Yeah, and I'm glad you like the physiques from back in the day. I mean, we trained real hard. Now, I will never tell you I didn't take anything, but we did. But we didn't take in the same dosage as these guys. They're killing themselves.
Well, yeah, that was what I was gonna say. I mean, it was totally different then versus now. I mean, these guys are on so much more stuff than what was available back then. I mean, what was like a typical protocol back then?
Oh, I mean, our program for the going up to the competition is not even their off-season one. We had a little prima bowling, but now remember too, it was all real. This was real. It wasn't manufactured in somebody's bathroom or in their kitchen. You know what I'm saying? In their garage. This was real good stuff. Prima bowling, Diana ball, little Anavar. What was it? Another one. I forgot one of it now, but we maybe took about 4 things and we only did it in about 10 weeks. But now you can tell when we weren't on. If you look at some of the pictures of Arnold on the off season, his shoulders were kind of down, his pecs were kind of flat. He wasn't really big. Yeah. Get off. You got to get off, man. You can't keep doing this stuff to yourself all the time. And you can see how many young guys have died already now.
Yeah.
And it's sad, man. I mean, guys in their 30s, man, in their 20s, man, they're overkill. And I don't like seeing this. Maybe we started something that we shouldn't have done, and maybe we're feeling guilty about it. I feel a little, because they wanted to mirror us, but we didn't want them to go that way. But their physiques, they ruined their physiques. They're like blocks.
Yeah.
Where's the aesthetics, man? Where's the lines? Look at a guy like Frank Zane. I mean, you got to look at Frank Zane. Look at that physique he had. It was a thing of beauty. Look at Steve Reeves. These were things. These were bodies of beauty, man. I mean, nobody's get that today.
No, not one. It's so funny, not one. Because I would not want to. When you hear the word bodybuilder, you think of the guys nowadays. But when I hear the word bodybuilder, I think of like you guys. So every time I talk to my co-host here, it's like I want to look like you guys did back then. So why not just kind of emulate what you guys did instead of looking to what's working now? Because obviously, what's working now, you just look like a person with muscle everywhere. It doesn't add up.
I don't get it. No, like I said, we trained, and and that was our formula. I mean, we didn't think about missing training days. No matter how it was, you got your ass to the gym, and you worked hard. I mean, those days of Gold's Gym, man. It's a nice word, Gold, because it was a golden era, man. It really was. I mean, every time I think about it, man, it's like I can see Arnold squatting somewhere, or Frank Zane doing pull downs, Robbie Robinson's doing something, and Bill Grant, Ken Waller's pumping away, and Mike Katz would come out every summer. Mike Katz, because he was a teacher, he'd come out every summer, and it was just, I mean, it was electrifying, man. It really was. And now remember, Gold's Gym was a tiny, I mean, small gym. I mean, maybe it was 100 square feet. That's it. Maybe 150 square feet. That was it, man. One little room. It was one little room with a squat rack. It had a leg press, seated calf raise, standing calf raise, leg extension, leg curl. We had all the benches, incline, flat, and we had the jungle gym, you know, the pull downs, the cables, and we had the dumbbells. That was it, man. And we had the low row. Let me tell you, that was the best low row I ever seen in the world, man. It was like, when you see the low rows, they try and fancy as Gold's Gym. Now remember, Joe Gold built all of that equipment. He made that himself. Can you imagine?
Wow. That's the low row you're talking about is the one that you see Arnold using in pumping iron?
Right. Joe Gold made that. He made all of those, the benches, everything. He was a tool maker. He made all the equipment out of his garage in Culver City, where he lived. He had a lathe. He had everything there. He was a merchant marine, and he built it all himself. And guess how he built it? He got all the guys who were electricians, because these guys work a lot with studios, electricians, carpenters, masons. He gave them all free memberships to help him build the gym. Can you imagine that? Yeah. Can you imagine that little place, Gold's Gym? Now remember, Vince's gym was the most popular, gym at that time. Everybody trained at Vince's. That's the place I wanted to go in the beginning. It wasn't Gold's Gym in the beginning. Now Arnold trained there. Everybody. Dave Draper trained there. Dave Draper used to live upstairs. I mean, everybody who entered me, Larry Scott, Don Howarth. I mean, all those guys. That's where they went to Vince's gym. And let me tell you, Vince was magic. He was magic, man. He really knew how to mold a body, but he didn't like Arnold. He didn't like Arnold's bottom. He told me he was a doughboy and he'd never win anything. But I think he won that one. Yeah. He was wrong on that one. I mean, he just spoke what he said, and he sometimes smoke a cigar in the gym. If you don't like it, get the F out.
Wow.
Now he did all the stars. I mean, you've seen a lot of the stars. They all look good back in the day. And Vince was a dark gym when you were in his gym. You know, it was not a light. He said you don't need a lot of light, but he had some weird equipment, man. Unbelievable. He didn't believe in all the heavy weights and stuff. He was all about chiseling the body, shaping it. And he did good, man. He did real good. I mean, some of those benches, and like the Scott curl bench. I mean, I always wanted my arms like Larry Scott. I mean, really, I wanted to always try my arms to get like him, man. I loved his arms, man. Larry Scott was the guy. Yeah. When he got the Brooklyn, Academy in Brooklyn, and when he come out, our next competitor from Vince's gym from Hollywood, California, Larry Scott, man, he trounced out on the thing like woo, and I remember the light bulbs would be boom, 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 man. I mean, it was unbelievable, man. Then he came out, it's like, wow, man, unbelievable. I just, you just dreamed about going to California. I mean, yeah. Joe Weider really, really did a good thing going there. And I went there too because I chased him. I says, how am I going to be a great champion if Joe Weider's not here anymore? I have to go to California. Then I got a job working at United Airlines, and I worked there for a year. And I says, wait a minute. I need to get California. Well, United goes all over the world. I could just transfer. I was in flight operations, and I put in a transfer. Wow. Lo and behold, about a month or two, I got my transfer, and I was on the way in the car going to California. That's my dream came true, man. Wow.
Wow, nice.
it was beautiful. I couldn't think about nothing else but just going to California, man. I had to be in California. If I wanted to be a champion, I had to be there. And if you really want, back at that day, if you really wanted to be a champion, you had to be in California. That was the place to be. I mean, the sun, the beach. I mean, I had a, man, this really kind of thing was great, but in all retrospect, it kind of screwed up my marriage too. I mean, I was a young kid, and I still hadn't sold all my oats, and I wanted to be a great bodybuilder, and I couldn't do two things at once. I couldn't be a father and a husband and then try and be a bodybuilder. I talk to my ex-wife all the time. We're very good friends. I'm great with the kids, and it's like she understood, and it was bad. And I told her I apologized what I had done, but but it was great, and I got where I wanted to do, but it was a price. Anybody who's trying to get something, you hear all the stories with actors and stuff like that. People want to be successful. A lot of times you have to have a sacrifice. There's always a sacrifice for something, and it's just the person on the person of whether he's going to make that sacrifice. And I think we all made a sacrifice of doing things. I've seen guys, they come out and they give away everything just to get to California, just to get to be a bodybuilder or an actor. It's a gamble. It's like throwing the dice in Las Vegas, man. You either crap out or you're 7-Eleven, baby. But yeah, it worked good for me. As far as winning the competitions, I mean, I was just really stoked, man. And after I broke up with my wife and she went back home again, and I had an apartment in Venice, and it was incredible. It was right on the beach, guys. Were you sitting down?
Yeah, wow. I can imagine how beautiful that was.
This was a brand new building. The fireplace, carpeted the floor. I had a dishwasher, where I can park my car underneath the building, the security building. And every time I woke up, I'd pull the screen back, and what do I see? The beach, Venice Beach. I paid $180.
That's not even my electric bill.
That's what I'm telling you, man. And guess what? The big thing about it is I didn't even have to pay the rent. Joe Weider paid it.
Oh, nice.
So it was like unbelievable. Can you imagine living on Venice Beach, waking up every day looking at the beach for only $180 a month?
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, I wish it was the same thing again, too.
I know. I always say I wish I was around when you guys were training, because I probably would have a similar story to you. I ended up going to California and just training with you guys, because I could only imagine the type of things that came out of that. I mean, that was the best time, in my opinion, for bodybuilding. Talk a little bit more about like training back then. I mean, you worked out with Arnold. I'm sure you did. You got to have a lot of stories when it comes to that. I mean, did Arnold give you advice coming up? Like, what was his presence in your life?
Well, we all kind of gave each other advices, and we trained in pairs. Okay, my program wasn't like Arnold's. Once in a while, we trained together, and I'll tell you about that part when I did. But I worked 4 days a week. I went Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I did chest, back, and shoulders on Monday. Tuesday, I do legs and arms. Wednesday was my day off. Thursday would mirror Monday. Friday would mirror Tuesday. And then Saturday and Sunday. Now, Arnold was incredible. I mean, anybody who could train that program that he did, you got to be good, and your body's got to be. My metabolism was way too fast to do it. I mean, I remember Arnold come in, he'd do chest and back in the morning. Then at night, 5 o'clock, he'd come back and do legs. Now, can you imagine doing back and then coming back the next night doing legs, squats? I mean, think about that. Back.
I kind of do that now, Bill.
I said, wow, it's 6 days and 6 days workouts. But moving forward with that one time we trained together. And I lost 5 pounds, man, in the first week. I couldn't do it.
Wow.
My body just couldn't take it. But I got a great story about that. We were doing squats together, and we said, okay, we agreed on 12 reps. So I went first, Arnold went second. But at the end, I was the last one to do it. And I counted Arnold's 12. So I get under the bar, and we had 365 on the bar. I could squat, man. So it was 365, and I was only about 190 pounds.
Wow.
So he's counting. Remember now, it's 12 reps. Going forward, he says 10, 11, 12, 13. Put the rack there. He says, Bill, what is this? You did 13 reps. I said, yeah. He said, but we said we're only going to do 12. He says, you're a fucking asshole. You one more than me. I said, what? Yes, you did one more than me. Arnold, I wasn't trying to beat you, man. I felt like I wanted to do one more. Doesn't matter. Oh, you're an asshole. He says, he went upstairs. I'm curious, man. He says, you never beat me again. And you know what the shit is? I never beat him again. He's like, but that tells how much of a competitor he is. That's how competitive he was. He doesn't like to lose. And I wasn't doing it just to outdo him. I just felt good to one more. That's the way he operates, man. He does, you would never even know when Arnold was injured. He just keep training. I mean, this guy was like maybe he should have been Man of Steel, number 2. But Arnold was really, really great. We'd be training, and all of a sudden, I remember, here's another one. So we were squatting, and we said we're going to do 10 sets, 10 reps. So Kent Keene was doing it. I was in it, Denny Gable, and we get to about the sixth set, and Arnold says, well, who said we're going to do 10 reps, 10 sets? And Kent Keene says, yeah, you did it. It's your set. Now get in there, man. I mean, Arnold had guts, man. I mean, he was gutsy, and he wasn't afraid. He wasn't. He didn't care whether he got hurt or fainted. He just what he said. It was all true. All true. Arnold just didn't stop. He was like the Terminator. He was a machine. He just kept going, man. But it was nice. It was nice because it was electrical. It was energy in that gym, man. It was a small gym, but there was a lot of energy. And now the reason why we really left Vince's to come to Gold, because of some things that Vince did with the gym. Vince didn't really believe in squats. He just didn't. Well, he didn't have a squat rack. He took it away. Took all that stuff away. There's no squats. He had this little bar here, and so he put the front thing on a machine and go up and down. And the sissy squats he liked. He always say you're going to get a big ass, and like I said, he said
it's true though.
Yeah, it is. But we squatted. I think that's the most important exercise you can do as a bodybuilder. You got to squat. It's like I tell guys, it's like building a building. I mean, when you build a building, do you put the roof and the sides up first? What would happen? It'd collapse, right? You got to get the foundation, dig down. You got to cement it up. You got to get it strong, and then you put the rest of the stuff on. And squats was the foundation. Chins, dips, and those four exercises I told you about, and pullovers. Those were the building blocks of bodybuilding. These guys don't do that anymore. I'm a trainer. The guy came in, and he was a police officer, nice kid. He's only 20-something years old, and he was in the military as well. And he wanted to get bigger. I gave him the same workout that I did. The guy made about 15 pounds.
Wow.
Gave him the same. Doesn't change. I mean, it doesn't matter what the year is.
Mm-hmm.
Techniques
exactly.
change. They don't change. It's still the same. But everybody's thinking it's something new. It's nothing new. You don't. Why are you fixing the wheel if it ain't broke?
Yep.
These guys are trying to fix the wheel. If these guys just would do basic stuff, and basically, you don't need a lot of weight. We're bodybuilders. We're not weightlifters. Just look at Look at the difference between bodybuilders and powerlifters and weightlifters. What do they look like? Oh, they're strong as hell, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but look what they look like. They're not sculptured. They're just trying to pick up as heavy they can do one time or 2 reps. Sometimes they go 5. We need repetition. We need sculpting. You know, we got to hit angles, 3-4 different angles of exercises to make the body look good. I mean, like I said, look how, like you said, look how we look back in the day. That's what we did. That's what we trained. That's how we trained.
Yeah, you mentioned pullovers, and no one does that exercise anymore. So what in your opinion did the pullovers develop for you guys? And do you think that's the one exercise that really gave you guys the edge over the guys nowadays?
It did, because I had a small frame, man, a real small. My rib cage was small. When this guy had me starting doing that at 15, those breathing, we called them breathing squats and doing pullovers, right? It stretched out the cartilages in my rib cage because they were still growing, and it got bigger, man. I just couldn't believe it. Mm-hmm. And guys who did it all the guys, you saw them, they did pullovers.
Yeah. They
did pullovers. And that was the name of the game, man. If you want to be good, you got to, sculpture. We're like in the old days, man. We're just chiseling out, hammer and chisel. I mean, our tools in the gym were the weights and the mirrors. That's why people say, "Why are you looking at the mirror?" Because you got to see how the statue's coming along. I got to see if I need to put in some more here and a little bit more there. And we did specialized stuff. These guys don't do that either, man. I mean, we had a thing to go, man. It was good, and as you can notice, we stayed around a long time.
Yeah,
we know how to take care of ourselves. We had fun. I ain't gonna lie, we had fun, man. LA, we had fun. We partied, partied down, man. But we knew when to stop. We knew when it was time to get serious. That was my whole thing. Weekends here, we're gonna have a party. When Monday comes, it's back in the gym, man. I mean, I just loved it, man. It was just, I mean, if I had a time machine, I'd love to take you guys all back, and you could just see it, man. It was great. Even after we moved to Santa Monica, it broke my heart, though. It really did. When that one closed down on 1006 Pacific Avenue, I'll never forget the address, anything. I mean, it's emblazoned in my brain, man. It was just a place that I wanted to be at. And it was just incredible, man. And I can't believe it. I had the opportunity to be there and actually to do well. And I remember in 1974, Mr. World, I was training for that. And there was a picture, matter of fact, somewhat. It's been around. There's a picture of me, and I'm walking away. Ken Waller's on the left side, me and him. Mike Katz is watching Arnold do some some shoulder presses. And I remember Surgeon Brett would always come here and, to train. And he came in, but in any athletic endeavor, you don't go to somebody's house and start slamming them, right? I mean, you don't go to the hacker, field and just talking trash, right?
Of course not.
You're disrupting. You can't do it. It's just disrespect. So he comes in. He says, "Oh, Bill, man, my boys are gonna bust you up. They're gonna work out to do. Stop right now, man. You at Gold's Gym. Your boys ain't gonna do nothing for me." I mean, this was 1974. And Mr. World, he was talking trash, man. I said, "We'll see when we get to Madison Square Garden what's going to happen." Well, let's fast forward to 1974 to Mr. World. Yeah, wow. When it was all was done and said, and the dust cleared. What happened? Take out the 5 guys, the top three guys out. They start. Remember the days of having best body parts.
Yes, I do. Yes.
Those were the times, man, when you did the body parts. So they started. Leroy Colbert was a judge, and these were real bodybuilders that were judging, guys that knew bodies. And so they started going out, okay, now best chest. Oh, Bill Grant. Wow. Woo. Whoa, okay. Oh, now we get the next one. Best back. Bill Grant. Whoa, wow. Okay, next one. Best abs. Bill Grant. Best arms. Bill Grant. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, most muscular. Bill Grant.
Wow.
And I was sitting in the legs, man. And it was like, yeah, okay. And the winner, Bill Grant. I told Surgeon Roberta, I says, oh, what happened, man? Yeah, you didn't get shit. Nothing. Coming to my territory and you're going to trash me? Yeah, you can take your trash home now. That was the best I could ever get. That was the best win ever. I couldn't believe it. It was a clean sweep. Arnold won the Olympia. Bob Birdsong won the America. It was a clean sweep of Gold's Gym, man. I mean, we were the real big guys. We were the big cats in bodybuilding back then. We were the guys. I mean, we set the tone of what bodybuilding was supposed to be by, and we did it, and we did it good. And I like to talk about it. I mean, because I'm part of a history, man. It's
yeah,
like,
you are.
wow.
I was just gonna say that you are.
I mean, it's like I'm in the history books now. So it's like, wow. I mean, I never thought I'd ever do something that good, to be in the history books, man, and be talked about for years and years and years. It's like, wow. So everything I thought about when I was a kid came true. All those dreams and hopes that I wanted to be a great bodybuilder. But let's put it this way. It doesn't just happen. You got to work on it, man. And you got to take the sacrifices. I did, and I know a lot of other guys that did too. We got to that pinnacle, and I'm proud. I mean, it took a lot. It took me 5 years just to win the Mr. America. I mean, it was like times of like you want to quit. I mean, you think you're never going to win, but I just keep forging on. Arnold's the same thing. I mean, you can't. He was so right. You can't be afraid to fail. Everybody who's been successful has failed once, twice, maybe 5, 10 times. I failed 5, 6, 7, 8 times before I could get there. I know just before getting the Mr. World title, I got beat again. I was 3rd place at the Mr. World that year. That was Ken Wilder won, Dennis Tenorino was 2nd, and I was 3rd. And that just gave me more fuel. I says, no, man, next year it's got to be mine. I went back to the gym, man, and I just kept on training. I said, I'm going to get bigger and better, man. And that's what you got to, that's what it takes, man, to be a champion. Everything Arnold said in Pumping Iron is true. He didn't just throw stuff out there. He was talking from the heart, man. He was talking just about what it really took to get there. I mean, it doesn't just happen. I mean, the guys today, I mean, they're training and training. I mean, Lee Haney won 8 times Mr. Olympia. That's a grind, man. You got, I mean, it's like any sport. Even though they don't call us a sport, I think it is. We're competing against each other. I look at us like being figure skaters. They on a point system. They have to do different things, and they have to have a routine. It's just like bodybuilding. So why can't we do the same thing? But it was just a great time. And here's another one in between. I remember we were in the gym one time. It was me, Arnold, Ken Wilder. Ken Wilder was the manager, and it was in the evening. So this guy came stumbling in there. He was drunk. I don't know what he was on, high on something, but he came in and he said, I want to be a bodybuilder. I want to learn to train. Arnold started laughing, and I started laughing. Ken Wilder, oh, Jesus Christ, what's going to happen here? He says, Arnold says, well, you want to know how to pose? Don't worry about it. Hey, Ken, go ahead and get the can of oil, the 30 weight. Oh, you can hear what's coming down now. Put some 30 weight oil, motor oil. So he opens it up. He tells the guy, well, now this is fantastic. Now you have to have this as part of it. He's holding your hands out now, and he's pouring the motor oil. Now waves it all around your body, man. Oh man, we would have matched it, man. The guy would have blew up, man. He told the guy, Okay, now this is fantastic. Now, when you throw your hands up, you got the, and when you go down, I was falling out, man. I can't even believe he did that, man.
That's the story he tells in Pumping Iron, right?
Yeah, Arnold, I love you, man. If you're watching this, I love you, man. You really gave us a lot of big boost, man, and some nice laughs, man. It was great. It was a great time, although we can't, turn the clock back, but we surely got some great memories. I can tell you, I got some memories like, they just, some I can't even tell here, but
we'll wait till after we're done recording to tell us about those.
But it was just a great time, man.
Well, Bill, actually, I want to ask you a quick question because, you mentioned early on in this interview, and we always drill this to all of our listeners, that you got your body from training and diet. And I want to talk a little bit about supplements. What was around back then? I mean, like I said, you guys just used training and nutrition pretty much. So what was around back then as far as supplements go? And what was it like back then? Because nowadays you could just literally walk into GNC and get a whole slew of stuff. And I know it wasn't like that back then.
No, it wasn't. We had a lot of the stuff from Weider, but it wasn't that good. Hoffman didn't have thing that wasn't that much good either. What's his name? Oh, he was out of Chicago, and he had a supplement company, and he had the best supplement.
Rick Blair?
Yeah, Blair. Yeah, right, Blair, right. Rio Blair.
Yeah, I know my stuff.
That's right. Now, he had the best supplements around. We all were taking it. We were all taking it. We weren't taking. I'm sorry, Joe. I know you're resting in peace, but you don't want to hear. But we didn't want to take your stuff. Rio H. Blair had the real deal. And he got mad at Arnold one time because Arnold was, him and Larry Scott, they had pictures and stuff, them holding Rio Blair products. What are you guys doing? You're supposed to work on Weider products. Joe, they're crap, man.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, he had the grass protein, the B complex, the liver. Yes, that was the best. And those are basically the only things you needed at that time. I mean, a lot of stuff we see in the stores now, chemistry. I mean, a lot of them don't work. Do you know Jerry Branham? You ever? Yes. He was the well, we grew up together. We were roommates. I've known him for years. He helped me a lot with my training, with the diet stuff. And today he professes and he knows he's really good. He was the nutritionist for Oscar De La Hoya.
Oh wow.
Mayweather, and this guy was. I mean, he's good. And today he's good. If you see his stuff, if you go to my Facebook, he's always posting it up on me, and it's great stuff. This guy knows his stuff. Matter of fact, he's so good. He's not even a doctor, but he might as well be a doctor. He was trying to be a doctor, but he didn't have money to finish. You know what I was saying? It's the waste of a blind. Yeah, it's the mind thing. They have a commercial. They had with it's a waste of a brain or something like that. But it was a waste of him not being a doctor. But at any rate, he was teaching doctors at UCLA about nutrition.
Wow.
I mean, the people, the honchos, and they could see. He knew.
So what did he give you, like, as far as diet goes? So what was your diet like back then? How did it change?
Back in the day, Jerry said, he always kept saying, he says, you're gifted. You don't have to worry about diets. In all honesty, I really didn't have a lot of diets because I didn't need it. I mean, if you saw what I ate before a contest, you'd fall out, man. Well, remember, he couldn't eat nothing almost, and I'm just pumped up. And I just ate. Listen, I could go to Kentucky Fried Chicken. I could go to McDonald's, and I'd be ripped. Totally ripped. I mean, but I still ate the eggs and the fish, and I still, but I still ate the other stuff. Not in abundance, but I'd eat it. And I didn't have to be that strict. Arnold was very strict with his diet. He just meat, rice, chicken, But milk, now so everybody says we don't drink milk. They don't drink milk, but we drink a lot of milk. Weren't we a little ripped? I drank a lot of milk. I was still ripped, man. I don't understand it. Well, where do they think whey protein is from? From milk. Cheese.
It was it was whole milk back then, right?
Yeah, it was whole milk.
You guys drink
But
whole
now,
milk.
I have to say, I think the milk was much better back in the day when we were kids, because I remember the milkman would deliver the milk, and you'd have to skim off the cream off. It's not like that now today. The food, I have to tell you, the food was good back in the day. It was fresh. Guys would come into the neighborhood with vegetable carts and stuff like that. It was real good food. I think now today they do overprocess with foods, and they put too much crap in it. Now, I was in New York for three months in Finland. I can even tell you, food was different. And let's put it this way: when American companies have their products there, they're not allowed to. They don't send them there. They have to produce it themselves. They take away all the crap that they put in.
Huh.
Oh yeah, they're clean. Their FDA is much different than ours. They don't put a lot of crap in their food. They don't allow it.
Wow.
Okay. And the food is great. Ask a lot of European guys when they come up here to train. To compete. If they come like a week before, they get all bloated from eating the food. That food kills them. It messes them up. When I could come back for a little bit, it messes me up. You get bloated. Look at all the crap they put in the food, in our food. The water is clear. I wouldn't even think about taking water out of the pout at the staff. Man, forget it. You take the water right out the sink. Can't do that here. Bottled water here. Over there, I was drinking water right out. It was tap water. It was great. It tasted just like any bottled water that we had. And the food, you can see it's clean. And I was eating very good. My daughter-in-law, that girl she can cook, man. There was fish, and she gave me some recipes, man. And before you guys, we got on. I had salmon. I cooked salmon. I did it. Rice, broccoli. She gave me some good stuff to do, man. And I was getting leaner. Everybody says you got leaner. I said, yeah, because I was eating really good. I was eating very, very good. And the food, I'm telling you, it's really, really good. And it's amazing that not everybody is not, eating this way. I'm not saying you got to be a bodybuilder or an athlete, but you really would want to keep, your body, in good shape. As God says, your body's a temple, spiritual and physical. And you gotta keep that temple going up. But I always explain to people that I train, I put the correlation of a car and a body. Okay, what happens if the tires are flat? No matter what kind of engine you got, it's not going to go right. So I say, okay, that's your legs. If you don't get your legs, you can't get going. Okay.
Yeah.
If you don't put the right fuel in a car, say a Corvette or a high performance car, if you put regular in it, what's going to happen? It's going to sputter, right? It's going to ping. It's not going to work right. So same with your body. It's a high performance machine. You got to put high performance fuel into it. That's the way I look at it. You got to tune it up. You got to clean it up. You got to take the oil out, get new antifreeze. Same thing with your body. Same thing. Got to do all those things to make it work. It's a machine. And as it gets older, the car, what happens? It starts breaking down. The body is the same thing. It starts breaking down. So now you have to be really cognizant on what you're doing with your car. You got to really maintain it. And what's happened as you get older, you've seen it. We've all seen it. People just like, I'm 70. I can look at people who've never done anything their whole years, and they're 70. They look like 100. And that's listen, bodybuilding is real a mountain of youth. It really is. It's a mountain of youth. It really is. I mean, I feel great right now. I feel just as good as I did when I was in my late 20s. Seriously, guys, I feel really good, strong. Okay, I can't do a lot of things that I used to do, but I still feel good. I'm energetic. I can still stay up. I can stay with the best of the young guys training. I can train with them. Some of these guys can't even train with me because I'm in good shape. I'm in actually good shape, and I love it. And I give it all to bodybuilding. And I mean,
I would love to come and meet up with you and train one day, man. That would be great. Where in Jersey are you? Because we're in New York, so we're not that far.
Yeah, I'm right. You know where Seton Hall University is?
Yes.
Right. I live right near there in the gyms. Diamond Gym is right around the corner, and I work out a signature gym in Belleville. And that's a big gym. It's like now it's going to be about 60,000 square feet.
Oh, wow.
Unbelievable. It's got everything that you wanted and more. I don't even use most of the stuff because I try to stay with the basic stuff. Stuff I did back in the day. It worked. I mean, there's no magic. See, everybody thinks there's magic with this stuff. There's no magic. It's just hard work and being sensible, train smart. That's the key to the whole thing. I mean, everybody thinks there's some magic pill or magic thing to do. Got to train hard. Hey, referring back to us guys, you saw it. You saw pumping iron. You saw the equipment that we had. Mm-hmm. We didn't have all of that. You saw it inside of Gold's gym. This is what we used. We had the cables, pull downs, the low row, squat rack, dips. We had a straight up leg press, which you don't see that anymore. And those are great. I don't know why people don't use that anymore. We're in a standing.
You can't use as much weight. That's why.
Yeah. See, that's the key. It's not about the weight.
Yep,
it's not about the weight. It's the repetition. I mean, sometimes I could do 30 reps, 40 reps, and nice and slow, squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. That's what it's all about. You didn't see a lot of guys training too heavy. I mean, these guys, and Ronnie Coleman, he was 700-pound deadlift, 600-pound squat.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, doing it too much in a long time, he's now wrecked his back, and I feel so bad for him. And that's today's thing, man. Got to go heavy. Go heavy or go home. That's not my modus of operation. I mean, I come in, assess what I'm going to do. It's like I still want my arms to look good. So how am I going to keep them that way? I'm going to chisel them. If you see me doing curls, man, maybe 40, 50 pounds with curls. And my arms are, well, as you can see, guys, that's for doing like 40, 50 pounds. Okay. It's no secret, man. I remember going to the Mid-City Gym and I saw Freddie Ortiz. I watched him do curls, and he had huge biceps. He had damn 50-pound barbell doing curls. 50 pounds. That was it. Everything was light. It's called repetition, man. You're not going to get a lot of build muscle, for one rep. You can have a lot of tensile strength, but you're not going to have any body. Yep, that's why you got to use lighter weight, and you got to get repetition. You got to get the blood into the area. You have to force the muscle to grow. You have to give it a reason to grow. If they could talk, it says, "Oh, one rep. Oh, shit. Yeah, I'm strong, but why do I have to replicate? You didn't do anything. You didn't break anything down. But now when you do those reps, I mean, you're breaking the muscle down, and it's like if it could talk, says, "Oh shit, guys, come on, replicate. He's killing us. Got to get more fibers." But now, after doing all that, now your nutrition has to be good. It all goes hand in hand. Training, nutrition. And you got to have that mindset. The mindset. You got to have the mindset. You got to be tunnel vision. That's simply what it is. You got to stay to the right there. That's it. Don't go to the side. Just straight ahead. I guess all the guys who were winning, those are the guys that did it. We were strict on ourselves. We worked ourselves. So we couldn't do it anymore. I mean, I used to do drop sets until I drop off. You guys know what drop sets are.
Yeah,
I remember we put the weights on. We'd squat. Maybe only get 10. I'd pull some plates off. 5 more. Put some more plates on. 5 more. So we almost like 30 reps.
Wow.
One set. Because we're doing the drop sets. So now you got the best of both, the heavy and the light. You can use it, but you got to know how to use it. Sometimes you should train a little bit heavier, maybe 4 to 6 weeks, in 10 reps, then go back the other way. I trained when I lived in Stockholm. I didn't tell you that part. That was World Gym in a World Gym there. And I trained with some powerlifters. I taught them about bodybuilding, and they taught me about powerlifting. And they were good because at the end, I was squatting 405, I was benching 405, and I was deadlifting 500 pounds, only at about 50 pounds. So, yes, it's beneficial. But doing all that heavy lifting for month in and month out, my shoulders were wrecked, elbows were wrecked, my back and my knees. It took me a long time to get healed again. Couldn't squat for like 20 years. My knees were all now. It's good, but now I can't squat because I tore my quad. But I can still bench. Well, my shoulders don't hurt. My elbows don't hurt. Because now I'm training, really smart. And I'm not trying to get powerful. I like the muscles the way they are. They look strong.
That's all that matters, Bill.
See, that's everybody says. Yeah, that's all that matters. It looks strong. It looks good, though, and it looks strong. So I'd rather be looking good and be a little bit weaker than being strong and not looking good.
Couldn't agree more.
It's just a whole mindset with this whole thing. I love bodybuilding. I mean, this is my passion. This is what I love. I mean, I've been to school. I'm like a doctor. I mean, and I love training people. So if there are any guys out there, if you're looking to get a good trainer, somebody to get you ready for a show, somebody who's had some experience, and I've been doing it a long time. Okay.
The right kind of experience, we should say.
That's it. So you can hook me up on Instant Messenger. Go to my Facebook page, and I'm there. Get in touch with me. We can work it out. But I want to like to see all the guys who want to train because I know what they put into it. I know how hard work it is, and I know the sacrifice you have to do to get there. But maybe I can make it a little bit easier for you. Again, it's not easy, but maybe we can get it the way you want it, less time, and get it right. That's the whole idea, getting it right, and it's important. I mean, it's a lot of competition out there today, much more than we had back in the day. But there's a lot there. So you want to be the best you can be. And if you need help, just call on Bill Grant. I can help you out.
Bill, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. We really, really appreciate it, buddy. And you said everyone could follow you on Facebook. Just type in Bill Grant. But, Bill, if you could leave our listeners with one more nugget from the golden era on how to build a great physique, one quick tip that you can give everyone and leave everyone that they could apply right now to their training that will double their results, what would that be?
Well, first you got to be committed. You have to have a commitment. That's the first thing. Because if you don't have a commitment, you're not going to get anything, no matter what's bodybuilding or anything. You have to have a commitment. You have to tell yourself, am I ready to do this? Is this what I want to do? Because you have to have a commitment, and you have to train hard. There's no saying, oh, I can't do this now. I can't do it. So you got to just keep going. I would say basic exercises in the beginning: bench press, chins, deadlifts, squats, barbell rows, barbell curls, tricep extensions, So if that's when you want to get some mass, this is what you need to do. And if you need some more help, call Bill.
All right, Bill. Thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it. Where can everyone find out about you? I know we said Facebook, but I don't know if you have something else.
Instagram, too. Instagram. They can find me on Instagram. They can go me on Facebook.
All right,
so I'm right there. Everybody's on Instagram and Facebook. Matter of fact, I have like 1,600 people still wanting to be friends on me on Facebook. That's how many people waiting. And I feel so bad when people I know, I says, what am I supposed to do? I can't just throw somebody off. I wouldn't want anybody to do that to me. So sometimes people go away, and then you have room. Sometimes I'll get slots for 4 and 5, so I'll go down the list, and I'll start putting them back in. But again, I love this sport, man. It's my passion, and if I can help people as a trainer, I'm here, because I know what it took for me to get where I had to go, and I was so blessed that I found Randy Coyle. Because probably I wouldn't be sitting here now having this interview. Guys, I want to thank you very much for even asking me to come on here. It's an honor.
Of course, man. We appreciate it. Thank you.
It's great. I like to talk to the fans. I like to give information of what's going on, and I like to talk about the old days, man. It's really, really feels good, man. Wow, being in something special. You guys can be special too. So just train hard. You can take that to the bank. Bill Grant. All right, guys.
All right, Bill. Pete, your turn.
All right, guys. Pete and Anthony with Bill Grant, New York Muscle Radio, and we're out.
Enjoyed this episode of New York Muscle Radio? Make sure to hit that subscribe button, leave us a 5-star review, and be sure to follow us on Facebook, New York Muscle Radio.